Welcome back to In the Big Leagues. I'm Sheldon, and guys, girls, we're at the end of the NFL season, almost halfway through the NBA season. We have certainly seen some of the all-time performances this season across the two leagues, but January 2nd, Monday night in the NBA was different. Now, as of late, youth games have been put on pause for the holidays, of course, so I've also put my officiating on pause, and you know I can't stay away from sports. So the last few evenings, I've spent my night watching a lot of NBA action. But again, I've never witnessed the amount of high class in one night like I did just the other night. First up, let's talk about the Nets at home. Going into this game, the Nets were on an 11-game win streak and sitting just behind the Celtics in the Eastern Conference. Now let me say, Kyrie was cooking. He scored 15 points in the first quarter, going 6 for 6. He was scoring from range, getting shots at the basket. But in the second quarter, while Watanabe for the Nets was, he wasn't missing. He was making every shot. He was shooting the jumper, shooting the three. He did miss a mid-range jumper. But while I expected the Spurs to rebound, Kyrie Irving raced to the paint for a nasty putback dunk in which I quite literally jumped up and lost control of what I was doing. It was crazy what I saw. The dunk, I had my Kyrie Irving jersey on, of course, so I went crazy with the jersey on. And just to see that Nets bench and the fans go crazy was even better because it was one of those all-time dunks. And guys, this wasn't just a regular dunk. Kyrie Irving has been the center of a lot of negative media attention in the last 3 seasons. And of course, all the trade talk last year about him going to the Lakers, joining LeBron again. And, I had us all thinking that he was going to be rocking a new jersey this year. But this dunk sent a message saying, Brooklyn, I'm here and I'm here to stay. Now Steve Nash, seems to be the piece holding this team back because Jacques Vaughn has since taken this team over and they're electric. They've won 12 games in a row. I just can't believe what we've seen this team do lately. Kevin Durant's putting up MVP numbers, doing what he's done, every single season he's played. But Kyrie's cooking too. Ben Simmons is playing pretty good, and they've won 12 games straight. Now they end up winning the game 139 to 103. And now let's talk about the second game I was able to watch that night. Now I then turned on the Bulls game in which they were on the road playing the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now with Darius Garland and Evan Mobley out for the game, Donovan Mitchell was going to be the primary scorer that night. But no one could predict, or ever predict, what he was going to do that evening. Now Mitchell and the Cavs were down at the half, 65 to 47, with Mitchell leading all scorers with 16 points. Now in the third quarter, things began to heat up, with the Cavs scoring 44 points and Mitchell accounting for 24 of those. The Cavs entered the fourth quarter down 96 to 91, and again, they looked to Donovan to deliver for them. Now 16 points later for Mitchell, the score was made. He made his first free throw to bring the Cavs within 2 points and intentionally missed the second free throw, just like Luka did the other night where he scored 60. Grabbed his own rebound, laid it up, tying the game at 130, and the game eventually went into overtime. Now, these Cleveland fans are going crazy, as they should. It was a crazy shot, and Mitchell would go for 13 more points in overtime period, including some deep threes to ice the game out for the Cavs, as they won 145 to 134. Now, a few days ago, of course, like I just said, Luka dropped 60, 21, and 10. I was certain this was going to be the top performance of the year. No one could top it. But Donovan Mitchell said, "Hold my Gatorade." He scored 71 points. He also dished out 11 assists. Now, he is just the 6th player in NBA history to score 70 or more points in the game. This was an all-time performance, and I'm so glad I turned on the game when I did so I wouldn't miss it, because this is something I'll never forget. Now, our third game that I was able to see the end of, the Luka Magic Show. Now, of course, I've been doing this lately, but let me say, the Mitchell game was still sitting on my mind. I still couldn't ignore the fact that Luka and the Mavericks were again trying to complete a comeback. And usually, when this happens, Luka performs his magic, and well, he did just that. While they were down all game long, the Mavericks defense held the Rockets to just 19 points in the fourth quarter, and Luka iced the game out, not with his usual long threes, nasty layups, but with at the free throw line. An area where he has struggled lately from time to time this season, but not this game. Luka scored the final 6 points for the Mavs, all achieved at the stripe, but he was 6 for 6. He ended the night with 39 points while grabbing 12 rebounds, dishing out 9 assists. Now the Mavericks have now won 6 straight games, and they are looking really, really, really good. But how long can Luka carry? Maybe a question for another time. Now the last game I was able to watch that evening, now guys, this is late. And as my night was dwindling down, my mind was still again thinking about that 71 points that Mitchell put up. The Luka game, the Nets game, but the Warriors were taking on Atlanta. Now with just a second left in the game, Dante DiVincenzo for the Warriors scored a game-tying three-pointer to take the game into OT with a score of 121-121. And Klay Thompson, who, certainly this year they've leaned on him a lot with Curry being out, certainly was looking to close the game out in OT. He had 45 points in the 4 quarters of play, but he wasn't done there. Now as overtime started, the Hawks sucked the life out of the Warriors fans with a quick 5-0 run, and the Warriors play was beyond sloppy, with a layup and a corner 3 with many turnovers by the Warriors. But Klay Thompson again had the game tied up, while Klay continued his greatness. Trae Young kept the Hawks in with his flopping, his superstar ability to draw fouls. He was able to draw 3 different shooting fouls in the first overtime, and of course aced them all as he always does, and the game went into a double overtime knotted at 132. Now with both teams trading back and forth jumpers, layups, free throws, the game was again tied 141-141 with just 3 seconds left. Klay took a contested three-pointer shot. He missed it. Kevon Looney grabbed his 19th rebound, went back up, missed it, grabbed his 20th rebound of the night, scored the basket as the clock hit 0. The Warriors bench, Steph Curry, and all the fans in that stadium were jumping all around, going crazy, as they should. It was a crazy win, but hey, it was a crazy game. Now, while this game didn't lack much in great play, I must say the Warriors at times looked horrible, like really, really sloppy, especially Jordan Poole. While he's extremely talented, he's also very reckless, and it showed in that game, late in the game, with just sloppy dribbling. He airballed a 3, and you just can't do that when the game's so close. But guys, I'm not going to rain on this parade because the Dubs moved on to an 18-2 home record, which is the best in the NBA so far. If they can figure it out when they go, on the road, this team is something to watch out for. And by far, they could be one of the best teams in the league. Now, it's also crazy to say, but LeBron also scored 43 against the Hornets. Joel Embiid scored 42 against the Pelicans. And all these games took place the same night as well. So what an evening for the NBA. It's a historic evening for the NBA, and it couldn't have had a better ending than the Warriors winning on the last second at the buzzer. Now guys, that's going to wrap up In the Big Leagues. I'm Sheldon. We'll catch you guys next time right here on hyfntv.